200 kilometres off the coast of Australia, and we've been hand steering Latitude through a dark and stormy night. Lightning has been crashing all around us, and I'm trying to dodge the darker clouds I can see by moonlight. It's tense.
The wind is 15 to 20 knots on the beam. We have a single reef in the main and a full head sail out, so we are sailing fast.
We don't have a radar, so we don't see what's coming. Next was that intense that we really didn't have time to turn these cameras on at all. Most of these pictures that you're looking at were taken afterwards. Didn't really capture it at all, did it?
No.
So we thought we'd best just explain it here because every sailor has their salty tale and this is kind of ours. We hope that this is the only one that we'll have.
Man, it was hectic.
So what happened was I was sailing from 8 p.m. till my shift ended at 2 a.m.
Yeah, something like that.
At 2 a.m. I was dodging lightning storms the whole way through, but I thought we were just at the end of it. I went down to bed. I was knackered. I think it was about 3 a.m.
Would have been sleeping for like maximum half an hour, no more than that. And I was in two minds, and I debated in my head for about 10 minutes. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to trust my guts, and I'm just going to wake him up and discuss with him what I'm feeling and what can I see. I think we should reduce sails.
So Murray woke me up. I was super tired, a little bit grumpy. I just wanted to sleep. It was 4 a.m. I knew we were close to the edge of the this little storm that we were in. We had this debate over whether we should shorten sail or not, or put up a storm sail. I didn't want to. I wanted to keep sailing. Murray insisted. We had a rule, is that if someone really wants it, then the other person has to agree. So begrudgingly, we went up, hauled in the head sail. I put up the storm sail. And then we just turned back onto course, was easing the sheets out, and then all of a sudden we had probably 20 or so knots straight on the starboard beam, and that turned into 58 knots straight from the front, straight over the bow.
Just suddenly, and it came with a loud sound and rain and thunder and lightning, everything right in the middle of us. So with the lightning, I would see the horizon and just get terrified, and then it would go dark again, and I'll see the lightning, I'll see the waves building up, and that the storm with the rain would just be just water everywhere. Yes, yeah, that's all I could see was water and wind.
The wind gusts at 58 knots, around 58, sustained. The tops of the waves just blow off into your face, and with the rain and all the lightning, you couldn't actually see anything. The chart plotter on Latitude is 30 centimetres away from my face. I couldn't see the chart plotter, so we were trying to sail into it. Mari was hanging on to one of the winches because Latitude is getting thrown around violently from side to side. And I could just see her hanging on through the rain squalls, and she's yelling at me, port starboard, because she could see the wind instrument underneath the cowling. So she was screaming at me, and I could only just hear her, but couldn't see anything. And then at one point, the boat slew sideways and turned, and we had our back to it. So I thought I will try and run with it, because people do that. So we started running with it, and we were surfing down waves, and I was madly trying to keep the helm centered to keep the boat straight.
The waves are tugging us around, and I'm trying to head for gears, and I've never been so afraid in my entire life. I was just underneath the spray dodger, just yelling to Denham, "Port! Starboard!" because he was trying to avoid rounding up, because the boat was just trying to turn. As we got picked up by the waves and started surfing, I would just see Denham like full open stance and just turning with his whole body, and I'm like, the lightning would come up, and I would see that vision that I think I'll never forget Denim when he stands and the waves behind with the crest just flying everywhere, and I'm like, I just don't want any lightning anymore because I just didn't want to see that vision again. And so I closed hatches that were not closed and sent mom a message. I don't know if it was a good idea, but I just quickly sent an SMS saying, please pray for us. And it turned out I'll probably nearly freaked mom out.
As Murray said, every time the lightning hit, which was about once every 15 seconds, the whole scene would just be illuminated, and it was just huge waves, so way taller than above our boat, at least halfway up the mast, maybe more, cresting waves, the tops being blown off them, and just moving mountains as far as you could see. Every lightning strike, it just looked biblical. I remember just being at a very heightened state and knowing that we couldn't make any mistakes.
Yeah. I remember thinking, this is crazy. Are we going to make it? Is the boat going to make it?
So we were surfing down waves, running with it, and then at one point I just lost control of the wheel. We got hit by a cross wave and it slew the boat sideways, and the whole boat went over on its side and then spun around nose up into the wind. And then at that point we were facing the wind and we just turned the engine on. So we started motoring into it, slowly up and over, and just keeping the wind at about 30 degrees just off the starboard bow, and that was actually better.
That was better.
We had more control. All of a sudden it just disappeared.
Similar the way that came, it left, and it lasted I think about an hour and a half to an hour 45.
Long enough.
Just under 2 hours, but was the longest 2 hours of our lives.
We didn't know at the time. We thought it might have been a front, because we knew a southerly front was coming, but it was actually a thunderstorm, a supercell thunderstorm that we sailed into. We had no radar, so we didn't see it coming.
That's it.
I think the most important thing from this that I remember is when I went down to sleep and when Mari got me up, we had a full head sail out and a full mainsail, and we had everything eased out because we had 15 to 20 knots on the beam. If we got hit with 58 knots from the front with a full mainsail eased all the way out and a full head sail,
wow, the boom would have caused all sorts of troubles. Maybe the mast would have gone with it.
I don't think the mast and the rigging would have survived that. So Mari getting me out of bed and insisting that we put up a storm sail really saved the boat and potentially us, which is no small thing to say, and I don't say it lightly, but if you hadn't have made that call, then maybe
thanks
we wouldn't be here.
Trusting my gut feeling.
So that's our story. We're going to do one thing at a time. We're going to get set up. We're going to get the boat happy. For close to 2 hours, we got smashed by winds of 50 to 58 knots. It's remarkable, incredible really, that nothing was broken. But Latitude is a mess. Downstairs is wet and chaotic, and the mainsail got blown out of the bag backwards and into the shrouds. So, first things first, sort out the boat in case that shit happens again. Okay. Yeah, if you can heave too, that's good. Shit. That's good, let me know when those are coming.
From one thing and then we got caught by something even worse. Still can't believe that. After our nightmare and near-death experience early this morning, Denim and I are exhausted and the weather is no good to enter the seaway past in the Gold Coast anyway, so we have to stay another night sea. We have to stay another night at sea. Never thought I would experience something like that in my life, and I am not glad I did. So tonight we are going to try and set up the drogue and try and get some rest. Taken by that current, we are moving backwards through the bump, like we were reversing.
That's good. That's Hove too. Heaving to or stopping in the middle of the ocean was a tactic employed regularly by sailors in the golden age of sailing in the 1800s. I've read so much about it and even how to do it in a modern boat, so I was keen to try it. Okay, baby. You to do your thing. Please God, I hope this works. Okay. Please work.
It's gonna take us a couple of days to recover.
Oh shit, a couple of days, weeks. Welcome to the world's most rolliest anchorage, the open ocean. There's lots of different tactics we could have used to try and arrive at the Gold Coast at the right time, but the heaviest winds are going to be tonight. And if we turned and ran with the swell, then we'd be way north of the Gold Coast, which means we'd have to come back up into all those heavy winds. And if we kept going straight into it, it would mean a very long night at the wheel, and we've already been awake for 2 or 3 days. So we've opted to drop a sea anchor out the front, and we're kind of hove to, hoping that we'll be able to handle the wind and the swell. But oh my god, it is rolly as shit out here. Angle's not bad, it's just some of the waves are a bit cross. Oh, those birds. But the problem was the cross swell.
We laid perfectly to the dominant swell, but every time the cross swell hit us on the beam, we would roll heavily.
Beautiful sunset going on out there. Take you to all the nicest places.
I could laugh if I wasn't so tired.
The strong winds weren't due until night, so we settled in and tried to get some much needed rest. Just gotta hang in, don't we, babe?
Gotta hang in, team.
Hang in. We can do it. Ocean is not gonna beat us today.
I just don't want to see any lightning and hear any thunder.
Yeah. No more lightning. Yeah, we're done with lightning, done with thunder. Come on, Latitude, hang in there.
Having a good rest?
Such a good rest. Just like being at home in bed. Oh, hang on, we are at home. Rolling anchorage. What do you think?
Man, I'm in need of some serious comfort.
And
the worst is the sea. It's building very quick and is very rolling. Now look at you. Yeah. Hold on, baby. Don't fall overboard on me.
No, I'm not going anywhere. Sail still feels alright. Rudder still feels okay.
Oh, I think so.
Alright, beautiful.
Okay, man, good luck.
Sail to land. Atta girl. Put on the 120.
Finally, at 4 a.m., it was time to get going. One more day sailing.
A little more, I think. I can see it now. Yeah, well, let's wait for those squalls. If they don't happen, then we'll pull out more head sail, I think. We are on the way. Not so bad?
No, not at the moment.
Nope. Good. Breakfast time.
Breakfast time today. No one's got the strength to cook anything.
Spaghetti in a tin. Peaches. Good morning.
There's some videoing there.
Getting lazy. Just stick it up. Strap it on a pole. Plug it up. It's time for the bakery to open. So this is a French baguette. You make the mix the day before, let it sit for 12 hours, divide it tomorrow, and eventually crusty bread. What else are you looking forward to back being home?
Oh my god, having a cappuccino. Having a almond cappuccino, 3/4 full. Extra froth.
It's amazing how when you're dead on your feet, the smallest things can pick you up. A hot drink, some good music, or in this case, fresh bread. Sometimes just the little things really help. Fresh bread out of the oven, that's one of those good little things. Fresh bread as the sun is coming up. Just seems like you're on a luxury cruise, really.
Very tasty.
Who said ocean sailing has got to be tough? This is really a cheese and Mickey's day, this sailing day. Full main sail, full head sail. And what is that little guy in the middle? We've just done a little calculation. And I realise if we don't step on the gas, we may not make it for tomorrow to the Gold Coast. Which means for the first time ever, Latitude is running 3 sails. Head sail, storm sail, and main sail. Having a better day today?
Sun is out, the clothes are finally drying. Although there's a breeze blowing from this side, passing through this jacket here into my nose, and I'll tell you.
Smells good. Smells good.
Oh, I need a peg for my nose.
That's my jacket. Yeah, it's been through some tough times, that jacket, over the last 6 days.
Denim's jacket is so stinky.
So we calculated yesterday that we'd be arriving at Gold Coast early this morning, because all yesterday and last night was meant to have 22, 25 knot winds. And in a cruel twist of fate, those winds completely died at about 6 p.m. So we are waiting for the wind and we are praying.
Dealing with this. Annoying.
Yeah.
Empty sails.
It's nothing sadder, is it?
Flopping sails drive you nuts. just a little bit of wind and we are going to suck everything out of it. Staring down the barrel of yet another night at sea, we sent prayers to every sea god we could think of.
Come on, oh blessed Lady of the Sea, deliver us some wind.
That little white dot, that is us trying to cross the Australian East Coast Current. That thing that looks like an avenue is moving about 3 knots north to south, following the coast, and we are not even halfway. Are we going to make it into the Gold Coast before nightfall? That's the question. Your little glow coming.
And then, out of nowhere, she came. Yes! Wind! Glorious wind! Glorious, glorious wind. We missed you so much. It was a strong squall, and we had full sails up, but instead of reefing, we decided to let her rip. When it gusts over 25, we run with it, and even heading into a 3-knot current, our speed over ground hits 12 knots. Ew. God, it's glorious. Gust coming, hold on. We're going directly up into the current almost now.
That's what you get when you ask for it.
Yep, we asked for wind. We got wind!
Came out of nowhere with 19 gusts. We were sailing dead with 4 knots and it went to 19, and we have all of our sails up, and Denham's doing his best with the steering, and it's amazing. We crossed the East Coast Current in record time and it's just unbelievable. We're so lucky that it didn't get to build too many waves, and I can see the buildings. I never thought I would say that happily. I can see buildings, but I am happy.
What do you see?
We are arriving in Miami.
Back to Oz.
Back to Australia.
Had a bit of everything, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Well, we had a miraculous comeback.
We did. We finished strong.
We finished.
12 knots across the East Coast Current. Flying.
We were flying. And we are safe. We see the Gold Coast. Straight up for the fort. We are coming.
You. Yellow flags up. It's happy time. Gold Coast Seaway Tower, Gold Coast Seaway Tower. This is sailing vessel Latitude, 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 over.
Latitude, this is the Seaway Tower, over.
We are just coming in for clearance at Southport Yacht Club.
The conditions in the seaway and at the entry are slight.
Copy that, thanks very much for the information. We draw 1.8 so we could come in on either of those lead lines.
Romeo Latitude, welcome to the Gold Coast, and we will see you as you transit through the Seaway. Seaway Tower out.
Thanks very much for your help. Going back to 16, Latitude out.
Beautiful sunny day on the Goldie. After 6 months on remote islands in the Pacific and a 6-day crossing with just the two of us, the Gold Coast on a summer weekend was hectic.
Loving those jet skis. Just go on his phone. Only in the Gold Coast.
Ah, solid land. I've never been so excited to see concrete.
After that, a quick visit from Border Force, and after 6 months sailing and exploring, these salty sailors were back home.
Did you have a good trip anyway?
Half.
That's your last hurdle.
Thank you.
So we've got air control over them, so
Yes,
they just
thank you.
Now,